Hello, welcome to our chemistry channel. Today I'm going to share about the answering technique in the paper 3 chemistry in the SPM level. So I will use the SPM 2018 as the example for this sharing. Okay, first of all we look at the scoring for the items in the paper 3. So the scoring will be 3, 2, 1, and 0 mark. Okay, 3 mark is excellent. Okay, means perfect scoring. 2 marks is satisfactory, means average response. 1 mark is a weak response, which also show any idea of your answer. So 0 mark normally is for no response or the wrong response. Okay, so this is a scoring for the items in the paper 3. The first part, we are looking at the structure questions in the scientific skills. So every year in the SPM, they will be asking all the candidates about these 11 scientific skills. So each scientific skills costs 3 marks. So 11 times 3 is 33 marks. So first part in this video, I'm going to share about the 11 scientific skills in the paper 3. Okay, so all the scientific skills we ask every year in the SPM paper 3. So let's start. Okay, so first we look at the measuring and using numbers. So normally, okay, the first question will be asking the student to measure using the numbers. Okay, so let's look into the questions. So a student has conducted an experiment to determine the endpoint of the neutralization reaction between the hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. So 25 cubic centimeter of 2 mole per cubic decimeter sodium hydroxide is poured into a plastic cup. Temperature of the solution is recorded. Then 5 cubic centimeter of hydrochloric acid is poured into the plastic cup and stirred. So the highest temperature of the mixture is recorded. So the diagram shows the temperature reading before and after. Okay, before and after the hydrochloric acid is added. So let's look into the diagrams here. So this is before. So we can look into the thermometer reading. Okay, before the hydrochloric acid is added into the sodium hydroxide. So this is after addition of the 5 cubic centimeter of hydrochloric acid. So the temperature reading is here. So the first question normally we're asking the student to read the value of the apparatus. Okay, so based on the diagrams here, we can read the reading of the thermometer. It will be 27.5. Okay, 27.5. So how about this? This would be 32.5 degrees Celsius. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So this steps is repeated by adding another 5 cubic centimeter of hydrochloric acid until the volume of acid has reached 40 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this table shows the part of the temperature recorded. Okay. So just now we have mentioned that the temperature, the student need to record the temperature in the table given. So the total volume of hydrochloric acid added, okay, until 40. So actually this one, total volume of the hydrochloric acid added will be the manipulated variable. Then temperature will be responding variable. So based on this, we can determine the variables already. Okay. So the temperature just now we mentioned already. So it's 27.5 and 32.5. Okay. So if students are able to record the value correctly, so they will get the score 3. Okay. So for score 1, for inaccurate reading, for example, the student cannot read the reading correctly. Let's say the student uh, read 27.0 or 27.50 with 2 decimal places. So all these will be getting the score of 1. Okay, so this is the first part, first scientific skills. Okay, next one, let's look into the observation. Okay, so observation, have a look here. So obviously, in the paper 3, they will be asking the questions about observation. So what you can see, the most important is what you can see. So based on these diagrams, we can see the temperature initial is 27.5 degrees Celsius. So at the end, after the addition of the hydrochloric acid, will be 32.5 degrees Celsius. So what happens to the temperature? So the temperature will is increasing. So the observation the student can make to be temperature increase, temperature rise, or level of mercury increases for score 3. Then if the student write out the initial temperature is 27, 27.5 or 28, and highest temperature is 32, 32.5 and 33, so we'll be getting score 2. Then if score 1, okay, temperature change or increase based on the table, okay, so this for score 1, the student not observe based on the diagrams. It's based on the table, so the student can only get score 1. Okay, now after the observation, it must be followed by inference. Okay, so inference in chemistry and biology is not unlike the one uh, in physics. In physics, the student need to write the keywords depends. Okay, so in chemistry, please do not use the word depends. So the inference is explain the observation why the temperature actually increase. Okay, so the explanation or the inference here will be the heat is released to surrounding, or it is an exothermic reaction. So the student can get score 3. Okay, so if the student can on mention about the heat is released or produced or formed without mentioning to the surrounding, we'll be getting score 2. Okay, then if the student write heat change or neutralization, we'll be getting score 1. Okay, so I will give another example based on the observation and the inference. Okay, let's say in the electrolysis, the observation you observe, let's say at the cathode, it will be brown solid is formed. Okay, as an observation. So the inference is mentioning what is this brown solid. So it's a copper is formed. Okay, so it's very simple and straightforward in the observation and the inference. So each one costs 3 marks. Okay. So next one, we look into making hypothesis. So making hypothesis actually is based on the variables. So I encourage the student to settle or to solve the variables first. Okay. So just now I did mention based on the table, actually we can observe or we can get the answer easily. The manipulated variable will be the total volume of hydrochloric acid. So make sure that you did mention about the word daughter. Responding variable will be the temperature or thermometer reading. So in here we reject the endpoint. Okay. Then in the fixed variable, okay, just need to put the most important one. Okay, for example, you can get from the questions, there is a hydrochloric acid, sodium hydroxide, volume and concentration of hydrochloric as volume and concentration of sodium hydroxide. Okay, so based on these variables, okay, volume will be total volume, MV will be total volume of hydrochloric acid. Responding variable will be the temperature. Okay, so based on this MV and RV, so we can write the hypothesis easily. Okay, so we come back to hypothesis. Before we could go into the questions, let's see some brief introduction to hypothesis. It's a statement that relates the MV and RV with direction. So remember, the sequence must be MV first, followed by RV. So do not reverse the sequence. Okay, so there are two common methods in writing the hypothesis easily. So if you can please remember this. Again, number one, okay, the direction MV, the direction RV. Okay, so direction here, okay, some clues or tips for you. Let's say you write higher, lower, increase, or decrease. These are the most common directions, keywords for the directions. Okay, so this is the first method. Second method would be MV has direction RV then another MV. Okay, later on I will show you some example. Okay, let's say we can look into the first example. Okay, this experiment is about the factor of size on the rate of reaction. So MV will be size of the calcium carbonate, RV will be rate of reaction. So we can use the method number one. Okay, direction MV, direction RV. So when the size of the calcium carbonate is smaller, the rate of reaction increase or is higher. Okay, so size will be the MV. Smaller is the direction. Rate of reaction is the RV. Increase is the direction. So we can use the method number one to write the correct hypothesis of 3 marks. Okay, so the hypothesis is very, very important in the paper 3. Okay, so let's look into the second method. MV has a direction, RV, then another MV. This is the second method. So we look into some example. Let's say in the experiment of comparing the hardness of the alloy and the pure metal. So our MV will be copper block and the bronze block. Responding variable will be the hardness or the diameter of the dent. Okay. So our hypothesis we can make like this. Bronze is harder than copper. So this is MV. Harder is the RV. Okay. Harder here also consider as the direction. Okay. Copper is another MV. Okay. So based on this example, we can see clearly. We can also make the hypothesis like this. Okay. So based on this experiment, just now we mentioned. Okay. So our MV would be the total volume of acid added. Then RV will be temperature. Okay. So based on the table, okay, maybe you can scroll back to the initial table just now. Okay, what happens to the temperature if the total volume of the acid is added? Okay, so we can use the method number one to make our hypothesis. So here is a sample answer. So as the total volume of hydrochloric acid increase, the temperature will increase until it reaches the maximum or highest temperature, okay, or the endpoint. And then if you see clearly, the temperature will decrease after that. So this is a correct hypothesis, okay, to get the score 3. Okay. Then if the student only mention the temperature increase without reach maximum highest temperature or endpoint, and then decrease, the student can only get score 2. Okay. Then if score 1, the volume of acid affects the temperature. Okay, so in making the hypothesis, avoid using the words like depends, okay, affects, okay, different, MV, different, RV, okay. All these will get the score 1 only. So make sure that you write the uh, correct hypothesis, okay. Next, okay, we look into the communication. So in communicating, normally the question will ask the student to draw the graph and so on. Communication. So based on the data given to the student, okay, this is a graph that supports the student should draw out. So remember, all the points must be drawn clearly, okay, okay, and then this one must be a peak, okay, must be a peak of the curve. So you can see the temperature increase to the peak or the highest temperature, and then it drops back and decrease again. Okay, so normally when the student want to draw the the graph, okay, the first thing that the student need to check the level with the unit is given, okay, for the x-axis and the y-axis. So if here is given already, the student just need to plot the graph and then draw the graph like this. Okay, so basically the student need to be careful on the first point. Sometimes the first point will be starting from 0. So including 0, the student need to plot the graph as plot the point as well. So normally I will suggest the student to use a cross to draw uh, the points. Okay. So like this student, okay, the student do not draw the peak or the highest temperature on this part. So the student only can get score 2 for this answer. Okay. Okay. Next is the prediction. Okay. So prediction based on the graph determines the highest temperature achieved and then determines the total volume of the hydrochloric acid needed. So meaning that the student need to determines the highest temperature and the volume of the acid. So based on the uh, graph, okay, the student should be able to get the value for the highest temperature is between 41 to 41.4 degrees Celsius. Make sure that you write the unit, and the total volume of hydrochloric acid between 22 to 23 cubic centimeter. So actually the student can get the value from here. So this is the highest temperature. So temperature, the volume you get will be 22.5, and here will be 41.4. So it's under the range. So the student can get the answer from here. Okay, for the prediction. Okay, next. Okay, interpreting data. Okay, normally this one like the paper 2, the student just need to uh, do the calculation and sometimes need to explain, okay, the reason and so on. Okay, so based on the equation, okay, calculate the concentration of the hydrochloric acid in mole per cubic decimeter. So in this one actually is a neutralization reaction, so we are going to use a formula MAVA over MBVB equals to A over B. Okay, so the student need to find the concentration or molarity of the acid. Okay, so volume of the acid we get from the uh, graph just now is 22.5. So volume for alkali will be 25, concentration will be 2. So the ratio from the equation will be 1, 1. So for the from this calculation, you get 2.22 mole per cubic decimeter. So actually, the range accepted for this answer between 2.17 to 2.27 mole per cubic decimeter. So make sure that you include the unit for the calculation. Okay, next is the define operationally. Define operationally. So the student normally will feel that this question is the most difficult question in the paper 3. Okay, actually, if you know how to answer it or the techniques to write the operation definition, it'll be very easy to get the score 3. Okay, so in operation definition, you need to include two things. Number one is what should be done, means what you do in the experiment. Okay, you can use few sentences to explain what you do. Okay, the more details, the better is your answer. Okay, then another one would be what should be observed, means what you see. Okay, so meaning that when you answer these questions, you just need to explain what you do and what you observe. Okay, so let's see some example of the operation definition that we can we normally see. Okay, first, when an acid is added to latex, okay, white solid is formed. This is what you do. Then this is what you observe. Okay. Okay. So what you do and what you observe. So sometimes you can explain in the longer sentences. Is okay. Okay. Another example. When higher concentration of sodium hydroxide is added to the sulfuric acid, the time taken for the X marks to disappear is shorter. So what you do and what you observe. Next, when the iron nail is coiled with less electropositive metal and put into jelly mixed with potassium hexacyanoferrate solution, blue spot is formed. So this is what you observe. Okay, so here are some more examples like, okay, reactivity of group 1. What is the operation definition? So when the metal which is lower position in the group 1 is put into a basin filled with water. So what you observe is brighter flame is produced. Okay, so what you see, what you do. Okay, so based on this example given here, okay, you can read over yourself later on. Okay, now what is the operational definition at the end point of this experiment? So how do you know it is the end point? Okay, what you do in the experiment is you mix the acid with the alkali. Okay, so in the operation definition, make sure that what you do must something you can see. So reject the word react. So do not use the word react. So normally we use the action words like put, okay, add, okay, mix, and so on. So what you observe is the highest or the maximum temperature achieved is actually the endpoint of this experiment. So you can combine these two. What you do, what you observe, the score 3. The maximum or highest temperature that is achieved when the acid mixed with alkali. So score 3. Okay. Then if you write one of these two and observe part, you get score 2. Okay. Then score 1, reaction complete, temperature change, or acid react with alkali. So all these answer we get 1 mark. Okay. Okay, next is the using space and time relationship. Okay, every year there will be asking a question related to time. Okay, so your answer should sound like this. The longer the time, okay, so what will happen? Okay, so based on this table given to you, okay, when the time's getting longer, okay, the temperature, let's see. Temperature will keep increase until 42. After that, decrease again. Okay, so we can make our answer like this. Okay, so when the time increase, the temperature increase until maximum or end point or highest or 60 seconds, and then decreases. So this one is the correct answer for the relationship between the temperature and the time. So if the student only mentioned the temperature increase until maximum or highest end point, or temperature increase and then decrease, or when the time increase, temperature increase or decrease or maximum, all can get these 2 marks. Then temperature increases or reach maximum or decreases, so you get 1 mark. Okay. Then last question, normally you'll be classifying. You'll be given some substances or some criteria and then ask you to classify. So have a look on this question. This table shows the temperature change for the neutralization between few types of acid and sodium hydroxide. Okay, have a look in here. So we have salt P with sodium hydroxide. So temperature change is 13. Okay, the acid Q with sodium hydroxide. Temperature change also is 13. Acid R with sodium hydroxide. The temperature change is 11. So all the volume and concentration of the acid are the same. Okay, so based on this, the question will ask you to classify the acid into the strong and the weak acid. So how do we know that it is strong acid or the weak acid? Actually, we can refer to the temperature change. If the strong acid is used, react with strong alkali, the temperature change will be higher, okay, compared to the weak acid. So based on this, we know that acid P and Q are strong acid and acid R is the weak acid. So normally we make it and then make a table to put in the to classify the strong acid and the weak acid. So you can get the score 3. Okay, let's say the student reverse the answer totally like this, means the student write R in the strong acid, P and Q in the weak acid. So the student will get score 1. Okay? So that is all about the 11 scientific skills that student must be able to master so that the student can get as high as possible in the paper 3, 33 marks first part. Okay, after this I will explain about the second part of the paper 3, that is the planning of experiment. Okay, thank you.